Somewhere between the day you just lived and the sleep waiting to take you, there is a frequency. You won't find it on any dial. It doesn't broadcast on a schedule. It comes when the hour is late and the lights are low, and you are ready to go somewhere without leaving where you are. This is the midnight frequency. What follows are radio dramas, some set in the smoky, rain-soaked world of the old golden age, where private detectives walked dark streets and every shadow had a secret. Some take place closer to now, some venture further out, into times and places that haven't happened yet. All of them are original stories, written in the spirit of the programs that once kept the whole country listening in the dark. From this moment forward, there are no interruptions, no commercials, nothing to pull you back. If you found something here worth returning to, we'd be grateful for your support. The details are in the show notes, but that's for later. Right now, there is only the story. Get comfortable. Let it come.
There is a building in the middle of the country where the time comes from. Not the clocks in it, exactly. The building holds 19 atomic clocks in 19 temperature-controlled vaults, and not one of them is the time. Every hour, a program compares them against each other, weighs each one by how well it has behaved over the last several months, and computes an average. That average is the time. It is a committee decision. The clocks vote, and the vote is what the country sets its watches by. Rowan Holt worked the overnight desk in that building for 11 years. He liked the job for the reason most people would have hated it. Nothing happened. The clocks agreed with each other to within a few billionths of a second. The program published the average, and the average went out over fiber and satellite to banks and power grids and telescopes and the little clock on everybody's stove. His entire function was to sit in a room and be present in case the thing that never happened.
People ask me what I do, and I tell them I watch the time. They think it's a joke. It isn't a joke. Somebody has to be in the building. Not because I can fix a cesium standard at 3 in the morning. I can't. I'd need 3 engineers and a week. But the regulation says a qualified person is on site, and I'm the qualified person. And for 11 years, the most interesting thing that ever happened to me on shift was a raccoon in the loading dock.
On the 14th of March, at 2:11 in the morning, clock number 7 started to run fast. Not dramatically. 8 parts in 10 to the 16th. If you had set a wristwatch to clock 7 and walked away, it would have gained about 1 second every 4 million years. The Ensemble program noticed it long before Holt did, because that is what the Ensemble program is for. It quietly reduced clock 7's weight in the average, from 9% down to 6 and then down to 2. The committee had heard from clock 7, and the committee had decided clock 7 was not to be trusted this month.
That's normal. That's the whole design. Clocks age, they drift. You don't throw them out, you just stop listening to them so hard. I logged it. 7's been a little squirrely since the recirculator work in January. I wrote monitor, and I went and got a coffee.
At 3:40 the same morning, clock 11 started to run fast. 8 parts in 10 to the 16th, the same number.
Now, that's not normal. 2 clocks in 2 different vaults, 2 different manufacturers, one of them a hydrogen macer and one of them cesium, and they pick up the exact same offset 90 minutes apart. There is no physical mechanism for that. They don't talk to each other. They are deliberately built to not talk to each other. That's the entire point of having 19 of them. So I did what you do. I assumed it was me. I assumed it was the measurement system, the switch matrix, the counter, the cabling. Because if 2 independent clocks appear to move together, the honest explanation is that they didn't move at all and something in the middle moved instead.
He ran the diagnostics. The switch matrix reported healthy. He swapped the counter for the spare and measured again and got the same number. He pulled the calibration cable, measured the cable itself against a reference, and found it exactly as long as it had been in November. At 5:15, clock 3 joined them.
Ensemble advisory. 3 members exceed nominal frequency offset. Members 7, 11, 3. Weights reduced. Ensemble frequency held. 16 members nominal. No action required.
No action required. That's the part I keep coming back to. The program was working perfectly. It was doing exactly what it was designed to do. which is protect the average from the clocks. 3 of them had gone strange, so it stopped listening to them, and it told me everything was fine. And technically everything was fine. The time we published that morning was as good as the time we published the morning before. Nobody's bank transfer went sideways. Nobody's power grid noticed. The average held. But an average holds by definition. That's what an average is. If I put 19 people in a room, and 3 of them start insisting the wall has moved, the room's opinion is still that the wall hasn't moved. The room will always say that, right up until the 11th person changes their mind.
By the end of the week, there were 6. By the end of the month, there were 9. The pattern, when Holt finally plotted it on a sheet of paper because the software would not plot it the way he wanted, had nothing to do with manufacturer or age or vault temperature or the recirculator work in January. It had to do with position. The clocks were going fast in order of their distance from the northeast corner of the sublevel, starting from the corner and working outward at a rate of about 1 clock every 4 days. He measured it 3 times. He measured it on paper because he did not want it in the system yet.
I want to be careful here, because I know how it sounds. I am not saying time is running faster in the northeast corner of my sublevel. I'm a technician. I know what that claim would cost, and I know I can't pay it. What I can say is this: I have 19 of the best clocks ever built in one building, and they have started to disagree with each other in a way that is ordered in space, not random, ordered. And the machine whose job it is to notice disagreement has responded by systematically ignoring exactly the clocks that are telling me about it. The program isn't broken. That's the thing I couldn't get anybody to sit with. The program is doing its job. Its job is to produce a stable timescale, and the way you produce a stable timescale is you distrust whoever is moving. That works beautifully as long as the thing moving is the clock.
Query received. Rephrasing as supported operation. Ensemble frequency is defined as the weighted mean of member frequencies. Member frequencies are measured against ensemble frequency. The comparison you have requested, ensemble against external absolute, is not defined within this system. There is no external absolute available to this system.
Which is true, and which is not a flaw, and which is the oldest problem in metrology written out in a single line of machine text. A clock cannot be measured. A clock can only be compared. There is no ruler in the vault that is not itself a clock. The time is what the clocks agree on, and if the clocks stop agreeing, the time is what most of them agree on, and if you ask what most of them are agreeing about, the honest answer is each other.
There are other timing labs. That's the answer, obviously. You compare against Braunschweig, against Paris, against the ones in Colorado and Tokyo, and if it's the building shows up as an outlier against the world. I put in the request. It takes about 11 days to get a clean international comparison back. Longer if the satellite links are being difficult, and in the meantime, I have a job, which is to sit in the room overnight and be the qualified person. So I sat in the room, and around 4 in the morning, I started doing something I would not tell my supervisor about, which is I would walk down to the sublevel and stand in the northeast corner with my hand flat on the wall, and I would count to 60. I always got 60. I want to be clear about that. Every single time I counted to 60, and my watch said 60, and my watch is set from the ensemble, and the ensemble is 19 clocks, and 9 of them by then were saying something the other 10 had voted down.
The comparison came back on a Tuesday. Against Braunschweig, against Paris, against Colorado and Tokyo, and the whole slow, careful web of links that the world uses to agree on when now is, the ensemble in the building in the middle of the country was nominal, well within uncertainty, perfectly ordinary. The world and the building agreed about the time to a precision that would have been considered miraculous in any other century. Holt read the report twice, and then a third time, and then he put it in the drawer, and then he went down to the sublevel, and he stood in the northeast corner with his hand flat on the wall, and he counted to 60.
60. Same as always. Here's what I can't get out of my head, and then I'll stop, because I know I don't have a claim. I have a feeling and a plot on a piece of paper. Every one of those labs runs an ensemble. Every one of them has a program in it that weighs its members and quietly stops listening to the ones that move. And all of them compare against each other. The whole system, the entire global architecture of knowing what time it is 19 clocks in a basement, scaled up until it covers the planet, and at no point in it is there anything that is not a clock. If something were happening, slowly, in an ordered way, to all of it at once, that architecture would be the last thing in the world to notice. It would be the most beautifully constructed instrument ever built for not noticing. Every part of it would go on reporting nominal forever, right up until the end, and each part would be telling the truth. I don't think anything is happening. I want that on the record. I think it's the switch matrix, and I haven't found it yet. I just think it's worth knowing that if I'm wrong, nothing would look any different than it looks right now.
Clock 19 in the far southwest vault, at the greatest distance from the northeast corner of the sublevel, went fast on a Thursday in June, 8 parts in 10 to the 16th, the last member to arrive. With all 19 in agreement, the Ensemble program recalculated the weights, found no outliers, restored every member to full standing, and published the time. Nominal. No action required.
Ensemble nominal, 19 members, weights restored, no advisory.
The midnight frequency. It's later than you think.
This has been the midnight frequency. The studio goes dark now. Sleep well.